History is made today. New episode, new channel launch. Me, myself, and Eyez. Episode 1. What movie are you watching? It was Hoodiekin, folks. It's me, the missing element, the middle energy. I have a question for you. Question of the day. What movie are you watching? You see, we all live in the same world, but we see it through different eyes. We all watching our own movie. You know what I mean? The channels we watch, the news we read, the music we hear, the people we sit next to while we watching it. And on top of that, we live in the information age where any movie, any article, book, or song can be summoned at a moment's notice and is at your fingertips. And then you got these, these AI algorithms that'll feed you more and more of whatever you like. So it's like so easy to be led into this echo chamber where you ain't got no opposing view to keep yourself balanced. And then if you like dispute a fact or decide to go Google it, then you got to go down this long road of verifying source and then the source of the source and then the fact checkers and who owns the fact check companies. And then in this microwave world of instant gratification, many lose the will to search the whole library for a good movie. They don't want to necessarily end up at the truth at that point. And instead they'll go to the suggestion tabs, you know what I mean? Whatever the news headlines then told them for the day. That's how they'll digest their information. Now, a great leader from the 20th century, you know what I mean? This is this guy named W.D. Muhammad. Go look him up. He said in a speech one time that a person should only seek useful information. I agree with that statement. For me, in order for that information to be useful, it has to affect my life in some way, whether direct or indirectly. Like basically what this got to do with me, what's in it for me type vibes, you know what I mean? I like to think of myself as an applied scientist. This means that I like to keep an open mind to the infinite realm of possibilities. But the idea has to pass through steps to verify if it's real or not. If it can't be disproven or proven, then it stays on the board until proven either way. I think I'm a decent film critic. You know what I mean? I have a little ego in this. Like I want my, my stuff to be the best always, but ultimately, like I'm not the originator of the truth. I'm just in search of it. I might be wrong sometimes, but I'll admit it. And just as loudly as any potential false claim. The way the mainstream media should have with that Lansing report retraction. Link in the description. False claiming ain't my thing, My voice and the links to info is all you need. Focus on the message, not the messenger. Now, movies first started out as like live in-person shows, plays, things like that. That ain't gonna happen here. Get the fortune, the fame was a line from some folks that came up in my neighborhood growing up, I agree with that statement. My voice and links to the info is all you're gonna need. I want you to focus on the message, not the messenger. I'm just here to peep and give game narration about the orchestration of the screenplay, you know what I mean? On the production set, I'm like the guy that's always looking at what the director and set designer are doing. With that being said, this is the channel that plays the movie as I see it. I can only be me. Now, this particular story starts back in 2015. On June 16th at 5:03 p.m., a man that we gonna call DJ announced that he was gonna run for president. And I must say that in the beginning, I ain't like this character. I thought he was an egomaniac. I never watched The Apprentice, but I knew it was a hit. I thought he was just simply building on his already huge brand. I ain't really take his character serious. I kind of thought he'd die off in the opening scenes, per se. Later on, in the movie, it gets reported that through alt media, he had been recruited by the military for this role. I'll come back to that at a later date, though. On March 16th, 2016, WikiLeaks launched a searchable database of over 50,000 pages of documents that span from 2010 to all the way to 2014, man. 7,500 of those documents, 7,570 to be exact, were sent from a candidate who was running against that DJ character. We'll just call her Hill for now. Now, Hill had an aide, like an assistant, right? We're going to call her Hab. And if anybody ever went to go review those emails, anyone who cared to go look it up, I'll post some links. You're going to find like some hard to explain references to foods that line up with 12's database info about something that we just going to call the fuckery. Now, Hill and Hab both were involved in whatever was going on, whatever that was. I don't know for sure, but they was definitely involved in that. And rather than go into all the accusations, we just going to call it a strange coincidence for the time being. Now, Hill denied it and then began blaming DJ and Russia. I didn't read it when it first came out, but I definitely started hearing things that made me become skeptical about Hill. Like, I came up on her team, so my long history was voting for her folks, but something about her just ain't really lined up with me. But at the same time, I definitely wasn't feeling that other character either. And then the next month, though, we just call it a coincidence for now, in April of 2016, a lawyer for Hill hired a company, right, named Fusion GPS to go dig up some dirt on DJ. Fusion hires a guy named Steele, right, who creates this Steele dossier. I'm sure you didn't heard about it. Everybody heard about it. It was up in the news a gazillion different times. I got so tired of hearing about it, man. My gosh. And then although later in January of 2017, the primary subsource of that document said that this guy misstated or exaggerated certain information, it was used all the way back in July of 2016 to go spy on this dude, DJ, all the rest of his campaign ride. So this lady Hill basically successfully paid to have the government work against her ops, man. That's what happened. I respect the gangster. It's not necessarily legal, but that's what she did. She pulled a power move. She was already in the government. And she said, all right, let me pay a little bread here and I can make some things happen. Now, in June 2016, we're just going to keep going down the line right here, right? In June of 2016, alleged Russian hackers, they go Russia again, right? They go and hack the DNC and start posting thousands of documents online. Yeah, man, her cybersecurity team should have been got fired, because first you had the whole WikiLeaks thing, right? That happened back in March. And then now what? 3 months later in June, Russia goes and hacks DNC, starts posting thousands of documents online, and this hurts Hill's campaign. I don't know whether or not this was a Russian clapback for that Steele dossier. I can't call it. But coincidentally, right after that hack, reports began to surface in the schmedia, as I like to call them, of a meeting between this dude DJ's son and a Russian lawyer at a building we just gonna call the Tower. So in July of 2016, as a result of non-stop media allegations against DJ colluding with Russia, all over again, right? The Alphabet Boys launch this op called Crossfire Hurricane, and they start actively probing and spying on a presidential candidate. You know what I mean? Things is getting spicy. In September of 2016, a hot-dogging New York congressman, pun intended, he gets arrested for doing something he shouldn't have. He had to go do 21 months for this. This is documented stuff here. Links in the description, right? Now, he was married to that Hab lady during the time of this crime, coincidentally, right? And during the case, his laptop got confiscated by 12. Now, follow me here. Of the 12 12s that viewed the content of the laptop, only 3 were still alive by February of 2020. I'm not implying anything. I'm just stating the fact that 9 of them died in less than 3.5 years since that laptop was taken. That's it. Now, aside from the 21 months, though, I couldn't find no other official punishment for the hot dog guy that I'm aware of. There were reports from alt media type sites that the laptop had a folder on it named Life Insurance. And that folder allegedly, right, had all types of fuckery on it. And that made some of the cops, sick to their stomach. So I think one of them committed suicide. A couple of them did. Like it got crazy. Like obviously they saw something that bothered them, right? And then although not officially confirmed through mainstream outlets, right, his now ex-wife, right, that lady Hab, Hill Wiki email lady, both of them, they were on the laptop. More fuckery. We're just gonna say that that's coincidentally for right now, right? So now, from September 16th to October 28th, 2016, there's little to no mention in mainstream media about Hill's emails or her appearance with Hab on that Congressman ex-hubby's laptop fuckery. Like there is, however, like plenty mention of DJ in Russia. That's all you keep hearing. And then there's also reports within mainstream media of a potential relationship with DJ and a man that, he got arrested later, but for now, we're just going to call him Jep. And Jep was accused of some real fuckery, Bridget, like some real nastiness. Now, at this point in the movie, I believe DJ was guilty of both accusations in some way or another, because like every mainstream media outlet was reporting on it or saying something about it. And then October 28th, 2016, something happened, like just days before the election. The FBI director, I'm going to call him Kami. We're just going to call him Kami. He notified Congress that they had started looking into newly discovered emails about Hill. And that many questioned his timing, and it was reported through alt media that the cops who saw the laptop, like they threatened to go public with what they knew if Kami ain't do so. Now, this can't be confirmed by mainstream media, so I'm just going to say, allegedly, it stays on the wall for now, right? It stays on the wall. Now, election night comes, pause. And I ain't even vote. Like, I ain't vote. On one side, I'm seeing memes of food fuckery, and on the other side, I can't seem to shake the image of this dude DJ hanging with that dude Jep just literally blocks away from where he called for the CP5 to be put to death for basically the same thing. You know what I mean? It was too much fuckery going on for my taste on both sides. And in spite of certain mainstream outlets giving this lady Hill 100% chance of victory, DJ somehow pulls off a stunning upset victory. And Hill concedes, but is like clearly hella salty. Like, and she not only begins to accuse DJ of being an illegitimate president, but the Russia story continues on. And then mainstream media continues the theme as well, along with visions of the U.S. going to war and the economy crashing and Iran and North Korea and racists finally being able to take off their white sheets and fly the Confederate flag at the White House. Man, I'm telling you, like, the Joker was now in office and chaos was definitely about to ensue, right? Then comes January 2017. And after this, the first episode comes to an end. You see, we can't move any further in the story, in the show, until this key part is recognized and accepted as fact. There's just no other way around it. Now, as of October of 2020, the director of national intelligence, this guy named Ratcliffe, he declassified documents that revealed that the then CIA director, we're just going to call him JB, he told the then current president, we're just going to call him Bo, about Hill's plan to tie DJ to Russia as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server during the election. Like, these is docs. This dude Ratcliffe, this dude, he gonna tell what's supposed to be told. He gonna Ratcliffe, he gonna throw it off the cliff. So now this dude Kami, remember him? He comes back up again. That dude from the Alphabet Boys. Yeah, he comes in and tries to have a meeting with DJ after he won in November. Goes and sits down with him in January and says, like, yo, I'm telling you about some things, but at the same time, he does not mention at all that the newly elected president is being spied on. Literally, he's currently under an active spying investigation, and he's a newly elected president. Now, it was rumored that this dude, JB, was working on the orders of his previous boss. Now, regardless of who's behind it, it happened. It's called a soft coup for those who don't know. And it's basically treason. It's like a shadow presidency of sorts. So now, all this current talk of election audits and disputes, or like DJ refusing to concede and all that, right? We still have not yet acknowledged what happened 4 years ago in the last election. And you won't be able to understand what's going on right now outside of even just politics if you can't see up to that road marker. You know what I mean? It's very important. And who knows? Like, yo, you might have fell asleep on this movie, yo. Like, you might have found it boring. You know, my voice is smoothing, but you might have just found this boring. You know, you might not yet see how this movie is useful in your everyday life. Yo, worse yet, like you might actually just lack vision and just can't see this particular movie at all. Now, if that's you can change the channel. You know, I wish you luck. And to be fair, you know, when this movie was being filmed live, I was oblivious too, yo. I really was. How can I fault you for being where I once was? You know, that's like them newly converted religious folks looking down on the same folks they was getting high with last week. You know, you can't do that. You know what I mean? So that's you. You can skip on down to the next channel or go to the next theater and go see what pleases your eyes. You know what I mean? This is a free world, free country. Now, if you can follow along the story so far and it sparks your interest, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, comment below, turn on that notification bell so you know when the next episode is uploaded. You know, this is one of the many things I do. It's a love, but I'm gonna be consistent with it. You know, you tune in next episode when DJ finds out what was done to him with the spying and like who was behind it. And this dude decides to go ape on the deep state, man. And I'll go in more depth on that terminology as well. So with that being said, you know what I mean? Thanks for your time. It's the great equalizer and most valuable thing we have. Peace be unto you. I'm just me.